I've saved the best for last. Chat, it's time to hear Nick tear Cracker Barrel a new one. It's gonna be good. Let's fucking go.
I normally don't do current event dog pile type content, but nobody seems to be pointing out what is incredibly obvious to me, that this company might be pulling off the greatest marketing stunt in the past decade. Today we're talking about Cracker Barrel. If you don't know, they rebranded recently and absolutely everybody hates it. This is not a political war thing where the left likes it and the right doesn't, or the right likes it and the left doesn't. No, everybody across the political spectrum has come out and said, we absolutely hate what you've done with this.
However, I'm guessing now Nick may say this, but they did change it back. Cracker Barrel has since changed their logo back to the OG. They put the original CEO's uncle back into it. I'm guessing he may mention it because I'm not sure. Like, well, he put this out 3 days ago. I'm not sure when he recorded it. He may mention it though. But I want to point out, just because they changed the logo back to the original does not alleviate them of the fact that they changed the interior and ripped away all of the folksy charm that they took away in the first place. It still looks dull, lifeless, and corporatized.
Look how they mess with my boy.
It genuinely might be the most unifying thing that has happened to the United States of America since 9/11, okay? Do you know how bad you gotta fuck up to, in 2025, get Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom on the same page? The official DNC Twitter...
Hey now!
Get Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom...
Donald, was that actual Donald? Okay, Jr. They got Donald Trump Jr. and motherfucking Gavin Newsom to agree on something. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm sorry. It's just it was too much for me. The very notion, it was too much for me. I'm quite frankly, I'm shocked that we haven't had a rip in the space-time continuum and an event horizon form in the middle of America right now with this. Okay, let's continue.
Gavin Newsom on the same page. The official DNC Twitter account even said, we think the new Cracker Barrel branding sucks too. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm gonna rephrase it a little bit differently so we're all on the same page. Cracker Barrel, aka a restaurant unironically and literally named Cracker Barrel, that has been accused of LGBTQ discrimination and racial discrimination, and when you walk inside is decorated as though it's Minnie's haberdashery from the Quentin Tarantino movie The Hateful Eight, has
Okay, I was gonna say, it used to be. It used to be. But I think Nick is actually going to get into that.
As though it's Minnie's haberdashery from the Quentin Tarantino movie The Hateful Eight, has rebranded and remodeled some of the restaurants, and they fucked it up so bad that even the woke leftists are like, no. The segregated bus stop vibes were better. Bring it back. They've literally done such a bad job that it almost feels like it's intentional, and I think it might be, and we're gonna get into it right after a word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Supremacy World War III. It is a free online PvP strategy-based game where you get to act out a military in modern day. You can pick a country, or you can play the US battleground, and you can pick your favorite state, which is my favorite way to play, and obviously I'm gonna pick Iowa every single time. I like to mix it up by attacking a different state every time. Sometimes I like to attack cold California, Minnesota. Sometimes I like to attack Nebraska and show them whose corn is better, but this time I'm probably gonna go ahead and attack Wisconsin because let's face it, they don't stand a chance unless it's a drinking competition.
One, we're not babies. And two, we're not that drunk.
But it gets better because right now for season 18, they have the cataclysmic mutation, which, you know, the only thing that can make World War III more entertaining is the introduction of zombies. So if you want to give it a try, it's free on both PC and mobile. And when you use my link and discount code down below, you're going to unlock an elite bomber that appears to be based off the B1, the bone. See what they did there? B1, bone. Get it? Anyways, go ahead and check out the game. Let's get back to the video. All right, Cracker Barrel. We're going to start off with a little history, how the company came to be. Why? Because you got to understand where the company comes from to understand where it's going or where it should be going, right? Makes sense. So, Cracker Barrel was started by a guy by the name of Dan Evans. Dan Evans was a Marine that joined after World War II, went, fought in Korea, came back home, worked a couple of different jobs.
Because of course he was a Marine. Of course he was. It's a Nick video. So of course the man had to be a Marine.
Jobs, and then went to work in his family's oil company, going to gas stations, basically being a salesman for gas to small gas stations. Now, during the same time period, in the couple of decades after World War II, America was building and finishing its interstate highway system. Basically, America saw Germany's Autobahn in World War II and was like, oh, that's a good idea. We're going to win this war and then steal that idea, which is exactly what we did. Now, the problem at the time, or at least for Rob Evans, was this meant that people were going to be using these massive interstates to just cut right through the land, and they weren't going to be taking all the small highways that everybody used before, and this put a lot of smaller gas stations out of business. Rather than just slowly decline and go out of business and fade into nothing, Rob Evans said, okay, we've got this new thing. It's kind of cool. Massive highway, goes really fast. People are traveling further, faster. That's great, but it does have some shortcomings. These massive interstates don't cut right through the middle of towns like these highways did. And people that are traveling for hours on end are still going to need gas. They're still going to need food. And a lot of them are still probably going to want to pick up knickknacks and souvenirs to say, hey, I was in this place, like a shot glass or a magnet or whatever the fuck.
No, Dad, not that, please. Here you go, sport.
So that's what he built. He built the first Cracker Barrel. It was a gas station slash restaurant slash souvenir store, and he slapped it right on the interstate in Lebanon, Tennessee in 1969. And to nobody's surprise, it was outrageously popular. It was the one-stop shop concept. You're driving down the road for 6 hours straight. You've got 4 more hours to go. Oh, look, there's one spot I can stop. I can get gas, dinner, and a souvenir. Perfect. Then I'm going to get back on the road. The entire concept kind of felt like a general store back in the Old West. Like, it doesn't matter what you're looking for. You have to go to the only store in town to get it. And if they don't have it, they'll order it. So that's what he kind of themed it after. He themed it after an old Western general store. And because of that, he just...
Revan? I know where you're going with that. It's... Buc-ee's is... it's not really... I don't think he made it like to be like a Buc-ee's. Because, like, Buc-ee's is not simply just like souvenirs and tchotchkes. It's like a legitimate, it's like a fucking Walmart. So it's a one-stop shop and you can get like fucking anything. But the Cracker Barrel was like, okay, gas, food, and then a souvenir. Whereas Buc-ee's was like gas, food, and any shopping you might need to do. So kinda, sorta, cause like it go, well, and that's what I'm saying, David, like Buc-ee's kind of goes beyond knickknacks. It's Cracker Barrel is the knickknacks and like cool, unique little items. Whereas Buc-ee's is like literal shopping. Like clothes and groceries and knickknacks and electronics. You know, it's like, that's why I called it, like, it's literally like a gas station, restaurant, Walmart. So, kind of, sort of, yes, but not quite. It's, yeah. I mean, I get your viewpoint on it. It's just, I don't feel it's quite the same.
Decided to name it Cracker Barrel because back in the Old West, the general stores had barrels that were full of crackers.
Don't do that. What? Why are you winking at me?
From here, the business grew like wildfire, but the interstates were becoming, you know, more and more of a thing. Gas.
Yes, Colonel, they have Walmarts in Canada. Of course they do. Okay, I realize this may shock the fuck out of you guys, but a lot of big business staples that are in the United States are also in Canada. I realize this may shock you. Please hold your gasps. wait, yeah.
From here, the business grew like wildfire, but the interstates were becoming, more and more of a thing. Gas stations were popping up. People were copying the same strategy. So he's like, gas isn't really making us that much money. We're going to drop the gas portion and we're just going to be a restaurant with this souvenir shop in it, but we're still going to be right on the interstate. And that is how we arrived at the Cracker Barrel that we all know today. It is a Western general store themed restaurant that serves Southern food and has a gift shop up front that is actually secretly evil, but genius at the same time. That little knickknack shop up front is responsible for 20% of Cracker Barrel's overall revenue, and they made like $3.5 billion last year, meaning they're moving like $700 million worth of knickknacks every single year. I know what you're thinking, how is that even possible? Because if you have a family and you go to Cracker Barrel, that gift shop is like a family-friendly version of the Saw movie.
What do you want? Like, what?
You are completely surrounded by armed mousetraps.
There's a 15-minute wait at the restaurant. You now must stand inside of an old-timey toy store for 15 minutes with your small children and not be compelled to buy them a harmonica and a cap gun. Mission fucking impossible, okay? Sorry, I'm trauma dumb.
Hell, not even to a harmonica or a cap gun. You've got clothing. You've got... It's a trap for the adults, too, because with the wives, you've got the preserves. Like, Cracker Barrel usually had a section of jams and preserves, and that's drawing the wives. And then you've also got like the old-timey tools that the husbands are going to be wanting. And then you got the candies, which both the adult with the parents and the children are going to like. And then there's like a whole bunch of old-timey toys. For fuck's sake, they used to have on the tables themselves. There was a literal like there was a game on every fucking table at Cracker Barrel. It was like a triangle shaped and it had golf tees in it. And you had to jump golf tees. Well, you basically had to jump, it was like, they were filled except for one empty hole. And then, the peg game. The whole purpose was like, you jump the golf tees until there was only one remaining. And they sold that game because while you're waiting for while you're waiting to the waitress, while you're waiting for your food to be delivered, if your kids don't have a tablet to entertain themselves, what are they going to do? They're going to play the peg game. And that's going to eat up a good 15 minutes of them trying to figure out, how am I going to get only one peg? And they would sell this in the gift shop. And then the kids on the way up would say, this must have a fun game. Hey, Dad, that peg game is like, what, $5-10? Can we get that and take it home? Genius! And this is the tip of the fucking iceberg when it comes to what was in the gift shop. Genius!
Anyways, now we're in modern times. In 2023, they got a new CEO, Julie Masino. Okay, now the CEO that she replaced was more or less shit-canned very politely. They didn't fire her, they accelerated her retirement plan. Okay, whatever, that's...
Oh! Hi, Walnut! Hi, Raiders! You're catching us right at the sort of the beginning of a Nick video talking about Cracker Barrel. Welcome in and join us. Wait, Revan? This woman is the CEO that ruined Taco Bell? Are you serious? This woman right here ruined Taco Bell. And Cracker Barrel, in its infinite wisdom, that explains why the new design looks like fucking corporatized bullshit, like what Taco Bell turned into. That explains everything.
Lightly. They didn't fire her, they accelerated her retirement plan. Okay, whatever, that's fine. They have a new CEO, this Julie Masino person. Is she an inside hire from the company that understands the culture and what makes the company successful? No, of course she isn't. We're gonna bring in somebody else that's an industry expert and they're gonna know how to fix everything, which never ever works. But you know what? Maybe she's the exception. Okay, what's her background? Oh, she was the head of marketing at Starbucks. Not looking great, okay? You know what company doesn't
Okay.
need marketing? Starbucks. Have you ever seen a Starbucks commercial? Yeah, me neither. You ever seen a Starbucks ad? No, not really. Starbucks' business model is they're fucking everywhere, and do you want caffeine or not? The end. Being in charge of the head of marketing at Starbucks is like being in charge of selling ass candles to dogs. You can't fuck that job up. On top of that, Starbucks isn't even really trying to sell coffee. They're trying to sell gift cards so they can continue being the world's biggest unregulated bank, which I did an entire video on. We're not going to get into it. After that, she was the president of Taco Bell, okay? That sounds like it could be pretty good, but I promise you, it's not. Okay, Taco Bell is owned by Yum Brands, and Yum Brands is a conglomerate that owns KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, and that conglomerate is owned by Pepsi. Why does Pepsi own fast food restaurants? Well, because in the 1970s and the 1980s, when Pepsi was trying to become a major household name, they could not compete with Coke because every restaurant in America had Coke machines and nobody wanted fucking Pepsi. So Pepsi went and bought 3 major food chains to force them to have Pepsi inside of the restaurant so they could force feed it to people and convince them that Pepsi was better. Pepsi literally said, we have no reputation and no customer base. We're gonna buy 3 entities that have a massive following and we're gonna use that to force feed our product into people.
Put it in your mouth and just eat it.
God, I hate it.
I don't care whether you hate it. You said you do it.
Which means ultimately at the end of the day, all they care about is the restaurants breaking even, maybe. They don't give a shit if the restaurants do good. They just want to sell more Pepsi. If so facto, all of her experience at being an industry expert is by working at a company that's fucking up to something other than selling good food to people, right? Starbucks is trying to be an unregulated bank and Yum Brands is trying to force feed people Pepsi. There's an ulterior motive. They don't really care how the company does. But Cracker Barrel doesn't have that. The only thing they're up to is strong-arming me into buying a harmonica for my 4-year-old so that I slowly go insane. So she comes in 2003 and is like, you know what we need to do to fix everything with this company that's been functioning just fine for the past fucking 50 years? We should absolutely change everything. We'll do exactly.
Yeah. This is hurting so fucking much what they did. Like it's not even the logo change. Like the logo change I think was just the tipping point. Because they'd already started working on doing this whole modernizing of several of like multiple store interiors and removing the old-timey folksy feel. The changing of the logo was basically just the straw that broke the camel's back, and why everybody just absolutely lost their shit about it is because people had already, like, I think a lot of people that lost that were flipping out about Cracker Barrel's logo change, legitimately, I don't think maybe cared too much about it. The people that probably started the fire on this one were the ones that had seen the Cracker Barrels go from the old-timey southern folksy look of the general store into this minimalist, dull, soulless, lifeless, corporatized thing and hated it. And then the logo change came out, and that was just, it was straw that broke the camel's back for these people. They started going, what the actual fuck? Why you're changing everything? You're making Cracker Barrel worse. And I think there was a lot of bandwagoning when it comes to people jumping on the bandwagon and saying, oh my God, this sucks, we're doing this minimalist thing. And a lot of people probably realistically didn't care. But then these boys were talking about it. People jumped on the, corporatization bad. Corporates are changing stuff the way it was. Okay, we're going to jump on this too. And like for me, the change in the logo, I was actually honestly kind of like net about. Like them change the Cracker Barrel logo. No, unfortunately, I don't have Cracker Barrel up here in Canada, but I still frequented it back when I was in Chicago. It was one of my favorite restaurants to go to. Best French toast in the world, best fucking bacon in the world. I will fight you on this one. I will die on the hill that Cracker Barrel has the best French toast and the best bacon. I will fucking fight you for it. Bring it, motherfuckers. I will fucking water pike you to the head defending this. But it was when I saw the imagery on that other video of how they corporatized the look of the interior, that's when I was like, oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. It's stacking the interior changes with the logo change, and that's what pissed me off. It was like when you basically do the both of them together, that's when it's like, okay, you're fucking ruining the image of this company. You fucking suck.
Exactly the same thing we did with Taco Bell. We'll take a logo that's awesome and retro and cool, and then we'll make a minimalist version with less colors that everybody fucking hates. Because every time somebody looks at a logo of a multi-billion-dollar company, they want to look at it and say to themselves in the back of their head, I wonder how much the graphic designer got paid, because I could have done that shit on Microsoft Paint. And then we'll go inside to the restaurants, we'll strip all the cool shit off the walls, we'll paint everything white like it's a rental property, and then put half of the cool shit back up with little plaques that tell you what it is, so it looks like a museum exhibit. You know, the same exact thing that we did to Taco Bell. Look what they did to my childhood. Taco Bell used to be beautiful inside and out. It was absolutely fantastic, and now look at it. It's just a giant square blob of minimalist.
I has not been inside a Taco Bell in a long time. This fucking sucks. This fucking sucks. Yeah, it's all sold with. Literally, okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing with all of these restaurants. This is happening. Ooh, this is happening with all the fast food places and so many chain restaurants. You could literally blindfold someone, drive them to one of these restaurants, walk them inside, and in the absence of one of the menus, like blank out the menus, like blank up the screens, turn the screens off. You could blindfold someone, walk them into any one of these ones, take the blindfold off and say, where are we? And they'll go, I do not have a fucking clue. It could be literally any modern fast food place. They have completely just tossed away the identity that made them the greats that they were. And now it's all corporatized, homogenized bullshit. Every fucking one. Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Cracker Barrel. All of these major chains have just become factory assembly line interiors. One is completely indistinguishable from the other, and you have no were it not for the site outside and the menus on the inside, you would have no fucking clue what place you'd even be in to begin with, based on the decor and the arrangements alone. It fucking sucks.
Lineal gray bullshit. Modern Taco Bells look like they got designed by a middle-aged white woman wearing Ugg boots who got all of her ideas off of Pinterest. I'm legitimately surprised they haven't changed their slogan from think outside the bun to something stupid like live, laugh, love. Oh wait, fuck, they did that in 2012 because when you go to Taco Bell, you're supposed to live Moss now. I hate it. Oh, I hate it.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets the people going.
So, is Cracker Barrel gonna go downhill? Almost certainly. As soon as they announced this remodel and their rebranding, they lost 12% of their market share. $94 million just fucking erased from existence. And so far, the only response that Cracker Barrel has given out to enormous public backlash is to send the CEO onto the news to talk to Michael Strahan, an ex-NFL player that retired when I was in like 8th grade, but somehow still looks way younger than me. And she goes up there and has the balls or the ovaries, whatever, to look everybody in the face and gaslight us and be like, actually, people love the new design, despite the fact that nobody does.
Honestly,
So that was a fucking lie.
feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing. I'll give you another soundbite.
So that was a fucking lie.
Oh, this button's getting a workout today. Oh, this button's getting a workout.
I'll give you another soundbite. The number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So the feedback.
So that was a fucking lie.
I'm gonna break this fucking button on Nick's video alone tonight. Holy shit. There is no fucking way that they had franchise owners ringing her phone off the hook saying, when can I get a remodel? When I guarantee you, when all this started coming to light, the franchise owners who didn't do the remodel were probably probably a customer's going to them going, thank fucking God you didn't do this remodel. I will bet you that the franchise owners that didn't have this done had their customers actually praising them for not having it done. I will bet anything.
And the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
So I'm 90% sure that Cracker Barrel as we know it now is gonna die off in the next 5 years, but there's a 10% chance that this is the most brilliant marketing stunt of all time. Okay, hear me out. They've lost $94 million, sure, but that's all stock price bullshit, right? That's not real. It's not a realized loss yet, okay? It's all on paper. It's imaginary. It doesn't exist.
Never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
In exchange for that 94 million imaginary dollar loss, they've gained hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of free publicity. When's the last time you heard about Cracker Barrel in the news? Fucking never. Cracker Barrel is the talk of the town right now. Buh! But it's all negative publicity. Buh! Yeah.
Well, his argument, of course, is going to be any publicity is good publicity. Even negative publicity is good publicity. That's going to be his argument. And yeah, Core, I'm kind of with you on that too. I do get now. Obviously, we're going to hear the case to be made for it. But given the fact that the publicity is that Cracker Barrel is basically sucking the soul out of its company, out of its restaurants, I don't know how much this is going to translate into any publicity is good publicity. Because people are going to be looking at this going like, you're not going to generate new customers. This, homogenized, corporatized interior is not going to generate new customers. The massive profit losses are going to really piss off the stockholders, and the existing customers are not liking the changes. So you've basically got like 3 fucking negatives. Any positive is not going to make up for those 3 negatives. Like the last 2 especially, you're going to lose your existing customer base that is disgusted with how the company has changed. You're not going to get any new ones because now the interior looks like every other fucking restaurant, so there's no drawing of the eye. And the food is not going to be good enough to bring in the new customers. Like, I'm praising the food because I've eaten there and I really enjoyed it. And you might get like some that through word of mouth, they're like, yeah, it's like, okay, the interior changed, but the food is still really good. You might get some traffic on that. Not nearly as much, though, as that people are going to go to Cracker Barrel because of the environment. That was the whole draw of Cracker Barrel. It was really great Southern food, but it was also this folksy, down-home, classic Southern environment. You are surrounded by the environment that matched the food. And now, the environment no longer matches the food. And that's a problem.
Sure, but haven't you ever heard the phrase, there's no such thing as bad publicity? Okay, they've done such a shitty job, it's almost perfectly shitty, okay? This isn't a catastrophe. There's a 10% chance that this is a controlled demolition on purpose. Okay, because here's the kicker. All the news articles are like, Cracker Barrel remodeled. Cool. They don't actually tell you.
Lazy Snoopy? I don't know. I cannot answer. Unfortunately, I have no Cracker Barrel near me, so I cannot test if they have actually changed the food. So, if anyone in chat who has had Cracker Barrel from like the last 10, 20 years versus how it is now, and like me, if you can, I have no idea if the food has changed or not. I have no information on this, I'm afraid. They burn all the food. It's fantastic. So now the food is not even much of a draw. Yeah, they just heat up frozen stuff for the majority of it. Fuck me! Damn it, Cracker Barrel, you were the chosen one! You were supposed to bring balance back to the food industry, not destroy it! Fuck!
Okay, because here's the kicker. All the news articles are like, Cracker Barrel remodeled. Cool. They don't actually tell you that all Cracker Barrels didn't remodel. Only 30 of the 660 Cracker Barrels got a remodel. And if Cracker Barrel is smart, especially if they did this on purpose, they remodeled the 30 shittiest performing Cracker Barrels that they had that they were probably gonna have to close down anyways. So now they're out $94 million on paper and whatever it costs to remodel 30 Cracker Barrels. $5-10 million, okay? They're out $105 million, 10 of which is real, 94 of which is on paper. In exchange, they've gotten, I don't know, $500 million in free publicity, and now in the other 630 Cracker Barrels all over the country, people are gonna go, oh shit, that Cracker Barrel hasn't been remodeled yet. We should eat there one last time because this is our last chance before they remodel it. All of a sudden, Cracker Barrel has the best year they've ever had. All of a sudden, Cracker Barrel's stock price goes through the roof. Now they're not losing money on paper. They're probably making money on paper, and they've probably made enough to offset the amount they spent remodeling the 30 locations that they were gonna close anyways. They close those 30 stores down, and they carry on with business as usual. They change the logo back. They issue some corporate apology like, we've heard your voice, and we respect and value your opinion.
That's exactly what they did. That's almost word for word exactly what they did. They changed the logo back and they basically said, yeah, we heard you, we're changing the logo back. He's exact word. Now, did that translate into any stock market gains? I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, Nick, going on the assumption that Nick made this video before it actually happened, yeah, he called it exactly right. He did. And I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people probably call this that, you know, with the level of backlash that occurred, a lot of people were probably saying they're going to change it back and they're going to come up with a bullshit message saying we heard what you said and we're following your wishes and we're changing the logo back. So, I mean, Nick's not the only one that probably said this prior to them doing it.
And that's why we've decided to bring the old white guy back onto the logo. He's not going to go to the island of misfit toys with Aunt Jemima and the Indian girl from the Land O'Lakes logo and Uncle Ben. No, he's going to stay on the restaurant where he belongs.
You're goddamn right.
And we're not going to remodel any more of the restaurants. Fuck America. The end. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. That seems like an awful lot to go through just to have one good year of sales. And I would agree with you, okay? But here is the reason that I'm giving this a 10% possibility. There was never an issue with Cracker Barrel's decor, okay? Nobody went in there and was ever complaining like, oh shit, this Cracker Barrel looks like a fucking Cracker Barrel, okay? You know what you're getting into when you go to Cracker Barrel. Nobody's complaining. If you go back to before this PR nightmare hit the internet, all of the complaints about Cracker Barrel were about the food quality, menu changes, and bad service, okay? Cracker Barrel didn't just remodel 30 locations, they also revitalized the menu across all 660 Cracker Barrels, including bringing back old favorites like Uncle Herschel's favorite. So presumably they fixed the actual issues that Cracker Barrel had, but the problem is with a restaurant, once you go there 2 or 3 times and you don't have a good meal, you're probably just never gonna go there again. So they needed to come up with a way to convince people to come back to Cracker Barrel one last time, to give them one last chance, to give them a good experience, and they could have staged this entire PR nightmare on purpose to do just that. And the added kicker, they get to spin the entire thing like, hey, we're the one company that listens to you guys. We're the one company that didn't sacrifice their legendary, well-known mascot and take him off the brand forever. No, we brought him back because you guys wanted him. We kept the restaurant the same because that's what you guys wanted. Cracker Barrel is an American institution and we listen to you guys and we give you what you want, and then everybody loves Cracker Barrel and their new awesome menu. But like I said, I don't think they're that smart. I give it a 10% chance that that's actually what happened, and there's a 90% chance that Cracker Barrel is just circling the drain and will be gone in 5 years. So there's that. Thanks for watching. All right, emergency update. Never really had to do this before, and like I said, that's probably because I don't like covering emerging trendy topics, but I guess here we are. Everything you've seen up until this point was filmed on the 24th, and it is now the 26th at approximately 7 o'clock Central Time, and I've just been informed via Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that Cracker Barrel has issued their corporate apology, and they're going to be keeping their original logo. Because of this, I will now be updating my prediction. There is no longer a 10% chance that this is an intentional marketing ploy. There is now a 50-50 chance that that this is intentional. They're doing it on purpose. And if they are, it's absolutely genius. And if they're not, it's the worst idea I've ever seen in my entire life. Anyways, thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out. If I'm right about this, I will, for the rest of my life, claim that somebody at Cracker Barrel headquarters saw my video, stole my idea, and saved the company forever. Probably not the truth, but that's what I'm going to roll with.
I have a different take.
Oh, and don't forget to go check out World War III Supremacy. Use my link and code down below to unlock all the free stuff. Thanks for watching.
I have a different take. I think this is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion on this. I think that this woman, what's her name? Oh fuck, what was her name? I don't even remember. Don't care. I think she, like, after coming over from Taco Bell, yeah, you know, Old Blossom, whatever her name is. Actually, no, I don't want to insult me on but like that. No, it's whatever her name is. I think that after coming over from Taco Bell and doing what she get, Julie Massino, thank you. I think when she came over from Taco Bell and did what she did to Taco Bell, she thought, okay, I'm going to do the same thing to Cracker Barrel because apparently it worked for Taco Bell. So I'm guessing it worked for Taco Bell. So we're going to do this for Cracker Barrel and revitalize Cracker Barrel. So I think she legitimately tried to do this thinking that the efforts would revitalize Cracker Barrel. And when she did that, caught the backlash and said, and then did, okay, we're listening to you. We're going to change it back. And basically just rolled with it. I'm going to disagree with Nick on that. I think that this was a plan, that they planned to do this. I think that they legitimately, like, they did the 30 stores, the remodeling of 30 stores as a pilot program, and they redid the logo. And when they caught the backlash, they basically did they did the corporate backtracking because the backlash was so strong that they did the corporate speak of, we hear you, we're changing the logo back. And I think they basically just rolled with it. They just they caught the backlash. They're like, okay, we got to course correct, readjust. And they did. But I don't think it was like a quote unquote all part of the plan. I think it's just, backtracking and eating shit as fast as they can. And I legitimately think that that's all it was. Food hasn't improved. They brought back Uncle Herschel's, but you guys are saying that the food's all frozen and crappy now, that they're burning it all the time. Yeah, I do think GBP, yeah, with the remodels, they only did 3 of the restaurants. And there wasn't, when they remodeled the stores, do I think that other franchisees were clamoring to have it done to theirs? No, but I do think that they did do like a 30 restaurant pilot of the changes to remodel. Like Nick was saying, maybe that they were the lowest performing. They said, fuck it, we'll just remodel and see how it goes. And when there was no big outrage, they said, okay, let's do the next step, and we're going to try the brand, or try the logo, and the logo caused so much backlash. They went, oh shit, we got to back that up, and they changed it back. And they just basically were rolling with it. I don't honestly think that this was all some big master plan to try and revitalize the entire company itself. I don't. I think it's just happenstance, and they're just backpedaling and eating shit as fast as they can. Because that's what companies do in situations like this. I honestly don't think it stretches any more beyond that.
Why can't CEOs just be like the Arizona one, keep doing what works, stay in their lane, and just rake in the cash?
Simple. Because it's publicly traded. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think Arizona is a publicly traded company. And Cracker Barrel is. It's all about the shareholders. Yeah, I thought Arizona was private. Cracker Barrel is a publicly traded company. It has shareholders. And like every fucking company that has shareholders, The shareholders want more profits, higher record-breaking profits every fucking year. And if you don't get them that rate, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're still making money hand over fist. If the corporation can't record a record-breaking profit every year, the shareholders start flipping their shit, going, "What the fuck? We want record-breaking profits," because now a company is not considered successful unless it's literally breaking records every single fiscal fucking year. And that's why we're seeing the increase in prices. That's why we're seeing, the grossly disproportionate prices versus wages, is because the filthy rich shareholders want those record-breaking profits every single year. That's what. And that's what happened with Cracker Barrel. Because the shareholders were not getting record-breaking profits, they had to do something to try and make even more money. Oh, yes, Jack, I know. And when that happens is basically when we're going to be seeing massive financial collapse throughout the country or the world, is when the record-breaking profits grossly outstretch what the public is able to spend money on. That, when the record-breaking profits far outdistance the average consumer's ability to spend, that is when you are going to see major financial collapse. It's not going to be the stock market that does it. It's going to be the corporations reaching for the stars so hard that the customer base just falls into the abyss. That's what's going to do.